Hi, my name's Daryl Lucas, and this here is Mangmua. And we're here to tell you about this exciting new grant we got from
OPI.
That's right. In this upcoming video, we'll tell you about what we did with this grant and all the fun, exciting times we had at Seasport School.
The grant that we got for C.S. Porter was an exciting opportunity for the kids at C.S. Porter because they were able to grasp the idea of the arts and use it in their everyday lives and learn about how the arts affect them and their feelings and the ideas they'll have for the rest of their lives.
I'm Sina Holst. I'm the drama teacher here at C.S. Porter, and I am one of the original grant writers, along with Carla Getz, our visual arts teacher, and Shattuck, our language arts teacher, and Raynell Lees, who is a university professor. It's hard to describe the program simply because it is such an expansive program. It's an integrated language arts and arts program. Right within the language arts class, we have experiences in dance, theater, visual art, and music.
We called the different components encounters, where they were able to work with artists right in the school or to go on field trips to see them. We've started a museum and called it our Museum in Process, and it changed as different products changed. Apprenticeships were a highlight at the end of the year, where they were immersed for 2 full days with the artists and small groups of 10. And then finally, our ambassador program, which was a select group of students who were the tour guides and ambassadors for the arts.
A majority of our projects were based on 5 focus questions. How do the arts express culture?
One of the projects that we began the year with was the study of mythology and the study of other cultures. And in language arts, the kids read the Odyssey, plus myths from Africa, Native American myths, Northern European myths. And then in art class, they created masks based on some of the characters in the myths that they had read.
It's part of the twins' visit to the underworld, and it's a son when his father or uncle turns into the sun after he was picked off the tree and thrown up in the sky.
And my found object in this monkey was the buttons in its eyes, because I like people's eyes and I think they show a lot of what a person looks like, what they're feeling.
And then they came back to the language arts class and wrote poetry and rationale for the character that they chose for their masks.
A myth is usually spun from a very powerful dream. These powerful dreams were called visions. And there was actually vision quests in which a young person, in crossing the threshold, what in 8th grade, what it we couldn't stop shopping at the Hudson's Bay Company. Now we got spandex, Gore-Tex, Nike Airs, gummy bears, ceiling fans, frying.
Carol Soth, a famous storyteller, came to our class and told us many stories, and then she taught us all how to tell our own.
We should be writing all these stories down for the hundreds, thousands, millions, and billions of people who will live on the planet after us. Yes.
From dance to music, how do the arts reflect and create our styles and traditions?
All All the 8th grade went to the Wilma Theater to watch Dennis Siebel do a performance about Norman Rockwell. After that, he came to our class and talked about the makeup and things he used to make him look more like Norman Rockwell.
So, Andy also did a wig. I need to clean this before tonight. I do another show tonight sometime.
In language arts, many of our students chose paintings of Norman Rockwell's and did small essays about them. This one is called The Family Outing.
Did on August 30th, 1947.
In drama class, many of the kids did their own representations of the family outing.
No, country rock, you're stubborn.
Here's a small sculpture of Norman Rockwell at one of his paintings.
Hey, Dell, you know what?
What?
I've been wondering. At school, you know,
Yeah.
CS Porter School, how do the arts renew the human spirit?
I'm not really sure how the arts renew the human spirit. Maybe some of the teachers and students can tell us. Let's see.
Each of us read a book on an artist, and then we researched them, and then we went to the computer lab and did these special timelines for each artist. Here you see all the timelines all together on the wall of our project room.
Language arts, they read the biographies, and in visual arts, they drew portraits of the artist, and then in communication arts, they did dramatic skits based on the artist's lives.
Hello? Is somebody there? Come on in, you good fellow. A reporter. Why are you here? To write a story about me? Leonardo da Vinci? The greatest artist of all times? I guess I could tell you my story.
And what we wanted to do was emphasize that in each one of these artists' lives, there was some kind of crisis that the artist had to live through. And usually what happened, well, in every case, the crisis made the artist's art better, and the art itself helped the artist through the crisis.
I did my postcard on Monet, and we were supposed to make it like he was writing a postcard to us. So, okay. Dear Jillian, I have to say I've been pretty depressed. My wife Camille died recently, and for a while there I just couldn't paint anything. Alice, my friend, finally got me going again, and since then I've finished 4 paintings. Your friend, Claude Monet. Well, the arts renewed his spirit in that he was so depressed, then he started painting and he got happier again.
I got the St. Louis blues.
When Billy was growing up, she had a hard life. At the age of 10, she was sent to a home for wayward girls. 2 years later, she worked as a prostitute. Then at the age of 16, she got her first singing job at the Log Cabin Club. In 1933, she found an agent and made it big.
What do you do when you get the blues?
Most of the time I sing. I paint and make stuff.
I draw and listen to music.
Music.
Listen to music.
I don't get the blues.
Yeah, sure, Devin.
I probably listen to music.
I usually write poetry.
When I get the blues, I usually write down how I'm feeling in a diary, or else I express my feelings by dancing and getting it out, or just go on a walk.
After we read the diary of Anne Frank, an actress from Living Voices brought the book to life. We talked about how the arts renewed the spirit in times of war.
Is there racism in, say, Montana? Yeah. How many of us have seen or experienced racism at some point in our life? Right? Yeah. If you haven't, you're very lucky, but you probably will. Now, what if racism
isn't here? I do know that this is my grandmother and this is my grandfather on my father's side, and it's a wedding party. And you can see that it's not a highly religious group because the women have their heads uncovered and the men have their heads uncovered. This is my great-grandfather, who was his grandfather. It doesn't take much to forget. If you don't leave the bombed out buildings and you don't teach it in your schools, how long are you going to remember it? There are things that you don't know about that your teachers and I, who are of a different generation, would say, oh my goodness, they don't know about that?
And it all started during the Gulf War, so that was back in 1991, when I started to work on this piece here. Then this piece came, and then more pieces came, and meanwhile I was collaborating with a musician. So I think I'll just...
We studied the picture Guernica. First we had a newspaper article that I found, which was taken from the paper in Spain right after the bombing. And I read them the newspaper account. After that, I asked the students to think about how they would feel if their city was destroyed, and then they created a piece of artwork just with drawing tools on Missoula being under war, under attack, somehow destroyed in the horror.
The arts renew the spirit by helping people get over their problems and get over depression and express their joy and happiness. And it just helps people learn from everything.
One of our main components is the apprenticeship, which we just completed. Students picked their favorite art form and experimented in expressing themselves through that art form.
Higher stem, like that. This is based on the ancho. This is just kind of a little mountain shape here.
And on the second morning, I walked around to every classroom, and we had every 8th grader involved with an artist. And as I went from room to room, there wasn't a student that wasn't actively engaged with an artist or involved with the project. And I walked around again in the afternoon, and it was the same thing. Every single student was involved in and really enjoying the experience, to give the idea that every student, no matter what their learning style, can be reached if given the right learning experience.
And did some videotaping, and they're going to tape a little short narrative and do some inserting of some clips.
Super!
And have this all done by 2:30.
Steve Gusson is an art teacher at Sentinel High School. George Gusson has a wood carving studio in his business.
Okay, so this one, okay, when this chipping part goes like this, kind of take your knife and rock it back and forth.
Damn straight.
And then don't even have to try it.
And notice that there's a little dip here. If you can capture that dip, it makes it look like the leather's...
Put your arms out, but you have to keep holding hands so I can skate under. I get to go down. I'm gonna try it. Okay. So expand your group. Figure out who's gonna be down there. I'll go down.
They had a statement, sometimes I feel so, and then they have to.
Feel or something, a statement. Weird. My statement is I feel weird sometimes on my weird days. So on my weird days I just look really funny. So I made a picture of how I feel on my weird days.
Anger and hate. It's just right there. See? Anger, hate.
Both are.
I'll show you when I'm done.
All right.
What's our artist statement?
Sometimes I feel so bored.
I think and all that needs bigger, more eyebrows, everything into it, face into it. Yeah, the second song's better.
Proud of yourselves. These artists up here have said some very wonderful things about you. And all the things that you have accomplished in 2 days, it's been amazing.
Boy, Hamong, those apprenticeships sure were fun. Apprenticeships sure were fun, weren't they? You know what I did? I did jewelry making. Sounds sort of wussy, but it was real fun. You might have saw me in the video there. So what do you do? Sculpture, huh? Sounds exciting. You also see his mask in the video too. All right. You also see his sculpture in the video as well. Pretty good one. His jaw moves in the mask. It does.
How do you think having artists in school helped you learn, and why?
They made it more fun, and they didn't, instead of just using books and paper and stuff, they made you get involved.
Helped me learn and gave me a wider view of what art was all about.
It wasn't normal, it wasn't boring, it was more interactive. You didn't just sit there and work out of a book or read. You actually went out and did what you wanted to.
And this is how we're working in this idea of learning through the multiple intelligences, the many different ways of learning, whether it's kinetically, visually, spatially.
Interpersonally. They have to do a lot of interpersonal group work, as well as a lot of intrapersonal work, which is thinking, reflecting on their own thoughts, and then taking it out of themselves.
The other thing is the kids begin to see the relevance of art, and they begin to realize that art is not something that is extraneous, that is peripheral. They begin to see it as an integral part of the curriculum and something that really does affect their lives and something that's really important to them.
Say, Hamong, I've been wondering, how do the arts help us celebrate?
I don't know. Let's go find out.
Let's find out.
Let me change your voice.
Hey, my name is Blueberry Jam.
We came in and I talked to the kids about red grooms and about distortion and about psychological portraits, and celebrating the arts was the theme. And I've never had such amazing results from a group of kids in terms of technical abilities, in terms of expressive abilities. I mean, we only worked for 3 15-minute periods is all the time that we set aside.
What do you think having artists in the school helped us learn, and that you've noticed?
Wow, I think the kids here are much more willing to share their stories, both verbally and visually. I think they came in here and they were not automatons by any means. I mean, truly, kids were being themselves, but they really focused and did this work, really thought about distortion. I mean, you look at these, they're just, they're like taking a middle schooler, the essence of middle school, and setting it out here and being able to deal with it on a visual level. And plus, the theme of celebrating the arts is evident in all the critters too, so. Just holding his mic. Wonder where we can get a...
Not that SVHS cord.
We would like to thank you and
all the CS Porter teachers and students
for joining us in this wonderful video. So long.
And have a great day.
You.